US Congressman Burchett says UFOs spotted by the military are from outer space. Recently, after the expected report from the Director of National Intelligence, another member of the US House of Representatives, Burchett, spoke openly about UFOs. He claimed that they are out of this world and even compared them to a biblical episode. A TMZ cameraman spoke with a representative of the 2nd Congressional District of Tennessee, Burchett, while he was on Capitol Hill, and drawing on the topic of President Biden's recent meeting with Putin. Well, at that time, he was asked about recent UFO revelations and if these could have a Russian origin, since there is no evidence that it is the United States' own secret technology. Burchett replied that there is no way these objects are Russian technology, because if they were, they would be our owners right now. Strikingly, the congressman also spoke about UFOs in the context of the Bible, hinting at the age of the phenomenon. Specifically, he referred to Ezekiel 1:4-28, in which, according to ancient astronauts theorists, there is a clear description of an alien spacecraft or probe. Quote, an immense cloud with flashing lights, lightning bolts surrounded by brilliant light. The center of the fire looked like shiny metal, and in the fire were what looked like 4 living creatures. In appearance, their form was human, but each of them had 4 faces and 4 wings. The passage also says, when the living creatures moved, the wheels beside them moved, and when the living beings rose from the ground, the wheels were also raised. Wherever the spirit went, they would go, and the wheels would rise with them, because the spirit of the living beings was in the wheels. And the transcript is this. The congressman says, I know right now with President Biden, when he speaks, he's going to ask Putin, this was a few years ago, about UFOs and stuff like that. And Burchett says, I think that's ridiculous. If the Russians had UFO technology, I mean, they would own us right now. They used to say that they've heard people talk about how the Nazis had it in the Second World War, that they would have won. That's ridiculous. It has to be something that is out of our galaxy. It just has to be if it in fact is real. And Burchett says they always say they're going to do something bad and then they get it in office. And honestly, I thought Trump was going to do something, though he was going to release the files. But they released these files, they're redacted, it's just a big blob of whiteout. Clearly something's going on that we can't handle. I mean, UFOs were in the Bible, read Ezekiel, it talks about the wheel flying around. So I mean, they've been around since we've been around. Somebody needs to come up with some answers. And the question, even when something's supposed to be released coming up in a few months, what do you think is going to be in that? And Burchett said, I don't believe it. I think Roswell was covered up. I think, more people believe in UFOs and believe in Congress for good reason. Because if the jackleg stuff we do like, that we talked about, we're going to release it, and then we never do, or we release something that's so redacted that's just ridiculous. The Air Force had a release on Roswell, which was the big deal, I think, in 1947, and the big cover-up there, and the guy that did it was a smart aleck, and he kind of smirked the whole time, and nobody took it seriously. They ought to take it seriously. The American people want to know, and frankly, we deserve to know. And the question, I think at some point it's going to happen. And Representative Burchett said, I think they're going to release that. I think somebody's going to release stuff that having to do with John Kennedy as well. But we have not had a president with enough guts to do it just yet, he said. And the source is from MW, and it's on Infinity Explorers by Anshu Vastava. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.